gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, it's your boy Travysty, coach of the Carolina Castforms, and today we are going against the coach of the Dallas Darmanitans, Nate Dogg plays. Now, if you guys know Nate Dogg, me and him are actually pretty good friends, so this is actually kind of like a rival battle, I feel like, just because I've known Nate Dogg since, I want to say since he started up YouTube. Me and him have like that friendship of the fact that he started off YouTube. I would jump into streams and talk to him as he played Showdown lives and stuff like that on stream. And like, me and him would just derp around and talk to each other, and we even collabed in Goldenrod, and all sorts of other good things out there. So it's definitely one of those things where it feels like there's a rivalry there. But with that being said, with every rivalry there has to be a victor. So today is the latest chapter of the Nate Dogg versus Travysty rivalry, and it takes form in the PIC Week 5 versus Nate Dogg. And I'm actually really terrified of his team. As you guys can actually see, he brings some pretty scary mons. Honestly, I predicted all of his mons. Like, these are all the mons that I thought they had the highest chance of bringing. But it was one of those things where he's coming fresh off of a 6-0. I want to repeat that. He is coming fresh off of a 6-0. This man has not won any matches, but then the week before he faces me, he decides he's going to freaking put pressure on me by 6-0ing somebody, which is impressive no matter who you battle against, because it definitely means that you have to play very well inside the match. Either that or your opponent just has to make constant mistakes, especially in the Pokemon Invitational Cup, where so many good battlers are here and we're like fighting for that playoff spot and then fighting for the championship. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and talk about this match here in front of us and stop talking about the heated rivalry that me and Nate Dogg Play has. So I bring Metagross, Clefable. It has a Berry. It halves the effectiveness of BP. It has Flamethrower on it actually, and it's also unaware, so he has so many mons on his team that's set up. I was just like, you know what, take care of setup, unaware. And because I'm Berry, I know I can take at least two BPs. Actually, I think I can take 3 BPs after Berry pops on Clefable. I got defensive Georgigon because it's just really good against his team because he has a lot of contact mons, honestly. Suicune, Calm Mind, Scald, Ice Beam, and Shadow Ball. It's honestly the only mon that I really have that hard can do too much to Clefagers, honestly, as sad as that is. But I don't really have a big answer for Clefagers. I brought Choice Banded Sock, who is going to be like a big mon for me. And then I actually brought Rosebud's a sled, my boy. I brought Roserade, and this is my first time bringing Roserade in the PIC, and I ran fully special defense, fully HP invested Assault Vest Roserade, because without any special attack investment, it literally 1v1s like everything on his team. So, you know, I was just like, you know what, Roserade AV it is. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into this battle. Well, actually, I want to talk about win cons real quick. So at the very beginning of the battle, looking at win cons, I feel like his win con, he's going to have a Scrafty that's going to try and do late game sweeping. I feel like the Scizor has the potential. I actually also recognize the Gliscor for its potential to set up, and I believe even Terrakion gets Swords Dance. I'm pretty sure he gets Swords Dance. So he's got 4 mons. I have actually 5 mons if you can count Clefagers, but I looked at Clefagers as a wall encounter to Mega Metagross, and honestly, running it with setup would not be very effective against Mega Metagross. It's better for it to run like the Will-O-Wisp headset or something like that. But I recognize my win con. Clefable actually puts in a lot of work on this team as long as I keep it healthy. Roserade puts in a lot of work, and Sock actually, after Terrakion is, well, even with Terrakion here, but I would like to say after Terrakion's gone, Sock actually does, and Rotom Wash, Sock actually can kill everything on his team, I do believe. Just because of the moveset that it has. It really can't do too terribly much to Gliscor, but I do have Ice Punch on Mega Metagross, so yeah. So we're going to start off this battle. He's going to start off with Pythagoras, and I'm going to actually start off with Druddigon. So I'm going to stealth rock right here because rocks are super important for me. And it's very important. I want to switch sides real quick. But it's very important to look at his team and notice he doesn't have any hazard removal unless he's running either Defog on Scizor or he's running Defog on Gliscor. Fun fact, if you run Defog on Gliscor, you cannot run Poison here. You have to run Hyper Cutter. So I definitely think that if he has Defog on anything, it's going to be the Scizor. However, I feel like getting rocks up, shipping out his team, even though like his mons aren't terribly weak to rocks, it's the fact that they're up doing chip, and it's making it easier for mons like Roserade and Clefable to come in and kill. And it also makes it so Suicune actually doesn't have to set up as much to kill all these mons because they are very bulky. But we're gonna go ahead and continue on. He Will-O-Wisp me here. Freaking Druddigon has gotten burned like a majority of these games. Like, it's not even funny how often it gets burned. But I'm gonna actually go for the Dragon Tail here because he doesn't really have a mon that wants to deal with that. And he's going to go out into Sagging, and I'm actually going to make an aggressive move here and go out into the Clefable. He's going to knock off here, which is unfortunate because that's Papa Berry. However, him knocking off the Druddigon would have been pretty annoying as well. I go for the Flamethrower. I made a super aggressive call thinking that he would want to go into Scizor, just knowing his tendencies. And I went for that play. He goes for the Hydro Pump. I eat that. Oh, that's 9%. He threw a freaking berry at me. Oh my god. So he's going to go out into Sagging right here, as I'm going to just go ahead and Giga Drain. That does nothing. He is definitely Spadef. I'm going to go for the Dazzling Gleam. He eats his Citrus Berry, and I'm just like, alright. I don't have anything. So he goes for the Iron Head here. I'm guessing, assuming that I'm going to switch into Fable again, which would have hurt. And I'm going to actually go for another Dazzling Gleam, and that doesn't even do that much. And that actually kind of worries me because I know he's going to go for the EQ here. So I'm going to actually go out into Suicune. See, he's going to EQ here. Now my best play here is to actually either Scald or Ice Beam. I could Calm Mind up against this because I do believe Rotom's coming in. But looking at the makeup of the scene, the fact that he has Clefag, he has Scizor, he has Gliscor, he has too many defensive mons, he needs some Spadef. And I did 9%, so it just tells me that this thing has got to be Spadef, because that should have done a little bit more. Now, unfortunately, I get T-Waved here, which definitely cripples one of the mons I identified as a win condition, and he reveals himself to be Resto, Chesto, which I guess he thinks that he'll eat this up a lot better, but I get a crit. It doesn't really matter because I believe it's a 2-hit KO regardless. He goes for Rest again, try and keep this thing healthy. I'm going to go for another Giga Drain here. I'm going to knock it down to half, and honestly, he's going to take entry damage. That Rotom Wash is asleep. I'm completely fine with that. That's completely fine. So he's going to go out into the Gliscor here. I could have actually gone for another Giga Drain right here and tried to do something off of that. He sets up a sub, which I found very interesting. He would have set up the sub beforehand, before I was able to do anything of that sort. He gets a Toxic off on me. I'm going to Scald, break that. And then he has the option of switching out into many different things. I actually go for a Shadow Ball here, I believe, thinking it would be the most effective move. I really wish I'd just Scalded, because a burn would have just crippled this thing down, and it would have done more damage. But I was Shadow Balling, just thinking that, okay, he could go Rotom, and Shadow Ball will definitely do a lot more. He goes for the Drain Punch as I go out in the Mr. Miyagi plays. He's going to withdraw Scrafty and go down to Clefag, and this is a big moment for me because I go for the knockoff, predicting for him to switch out into the Clefag because a close combat was definitely telegraphed there. I go out into Druddigon here as he's going to go for the Pain Split, and now I just realized that Druddigon is going to die here because I don't really want anything to come in on this after that because it's sitting at a certain amount of HP now. So I'm going to go out into Suicune thinking I can Calm Mind up a little bit and see where that gets me. He's on Pain Split here, which is going to heal him up a decent bit. I could Calm Mind here again, but I believe Hets will hurt after this, so I just didn't want to play into Toxic's hands, really. So I just start firing off the Shadow Balls. He's going to switch out here, go out into Scrafty, which Scrafty will die here because I am +1, even if he is Spadef. I believe it does anywhere from like 19% to like 22 or something like that. It's a kill, like, honestly. So I'm completely happy with that. And he's going to go out into the spin cycle, which I'm just like, okay, I am going to go ahead and let Suicune go down. And I'm going to just get the Shadow Ball off, crippling this thing, putting it in range to where I know Roserade can come in and kill no matter what. He decides to sack this. I guess that's honestly the best play he had for it, because it was going to die to something else anyways. He goes for the Pain Split here, and this aggravates me because, oh look, I'm paralyzed. Oh man, I can't help but be paralyzed right now. Oh look, I'm paralyzed again. He has hits too, so he's doing all this damage. Oh, I break through, Giga Drain. I get a crit. I'm back up in HP. He's gonna Pain Split again, like the guy he is. I'm gonna Giga Drain again, get some more HP back, and he's going to Pain Split me and aggravate me, and oh, I'm paralyzed. Yay! But I know after this Cafagorus is gone, this is actually pretty big for me, because now I am in. The bad thing is I'm paralyzed and BP will kill me, and I'm in range of it. There's no point in keeping this thing alive, just because it's Assault Vest. All the threats that it was meant to take care of, it took care of. If you tried the SD there, I did have Technician HP Fire. I go on the Miyagi plays, go for this close combat because it kills everything on his team. I get the defense drop. His best play here is to go back into Scizor because I do have that defense drop. And I want to keep this thing alive because he does not have hazards up on my side. So I know I can take a BP from this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and Mega Evolve here. I really wish I didn't do what I did here. I Hammer Arm. It does a good amount of damage, don't get me wrong. And it definitely wasn't terrible, but the fact of the matter is I freaking messed up. Now I make an aggressive move here, go into Clefairy. I'm going to Flamethrower here because it is my safest option. Because even after this burn, it actually doesn't matter that I burned him right here. It makes it so this does less damage, of course. But the reason why this does not matter is because I was going to eat up this Poison Jab anyways. And I'd be able to fire off a Moonblast and kill. So, unless like he was to not be burned and get a crit on this Poison Jab, it did not matter. I just want to point that out, guys. It was annoying, yes, but it happens. So I'm going to go for the Moonblast here, and that's going to kill the Terrakion. Now he has to go out into Scizor. Now Scizor will kill from this range because of the poison. The poison hurt me. If I was Magic Guard, it wouldn't have died. If there was a crit, it would have mattered if it wasn't for the fact that I was low. Like, if I didn't get poisoned off that, I would have actually lived and killed him with Flamethrower. But I go on the Miyagi plays, get the Fire Punch off, and that is going to be GG. That was really well played. Nate Dogg actually played out of his mind, I feel like. Like, he played really well. Last week he got a 6-0, and this week, I mean, he did lose, but he definitely played well. I feel like the Rotom Wash wasn't able to be played as effectively as it could have been, but he played Fag really good, and he team built pretty good against my team, so I definitely have to give him props for that. I feel like if I didn't get paralyzed on Roserade, I think I could have ended it with a 3-0 differential at least, just because of Roserade being able to just wall everything on his team, and I think the only thing that really did anything to him was the Scizor. So, yeah, that's a thing. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit up that like button, subscribe if you haven't today to join YouTube's greatest travesty, and be sure to continue cheering on your Carolina Castforms with this match. We are now currently 4-2 in the season, which lends us up to actually have a pretty good spot at playoffs. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning playoffs here, this is a 10-week. There's 10 battles, and I've done 6. With 6 battles being done out of the way, it definitely makes it a lot, what's the word for it, different. My next match is against Rosebuds of Sled and the Cutsound Crocodiles. That's going to be a very hard matchup, and I still have to play Crimson, and I have to play Toxic Gaming. I have hard matchups at the end, but I have a spot where I can go for playoffs. So I am super excited. I'm really happy. So without further ado, guys, like I said, hit that like button, subscribe, and be sure to follow Nate Dogg Plays because he played out of his mind. And like I said, it's a guy that if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you guys know I have collabed with him, I've talked to with him, and he is a friend of mine. So yeah, be a swaggy daddy and check him out. If you guys go and check out his channel, be sure to go to his most recent video and put hashtag Garboder for life in his most recent video, which probably will be this battle. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Peace out, guys.